ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओं सुप्रभातम्। ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 54 ॐ सोमपोमृतपः सोमः पुरुजित्पुरुषत्तमः विनयो जयः सत्यसन्धो दाशार्हः सात्वतां पतिः जीवो विनयिता साक्षी मुकुन्दोमितविक्रमः अम्भो निधिरनन्तात्मा महोदधिशयोऽन्तकः. This we completed yesterday. अजो महार्हस्वाभाव्यो जितामित्रः प्रमोदनः आनन्दो नन्दनो नन्दः सत्यधर्मा त्रिविक्रमः अजो महार्हस्वाभाव्यो जितामित्रः प्रमोदनः आनन्दो नन्दनो नन्दः सत्यधर्मा त्रिविक्रमः. Another very beautiful shloka with 10 namas in that. And the 521st nama, Ajaha. Actually, we have dealt with it earlier in the 92nd, and we will be dealing again in 204. Or rather, we have already dealt in 204. Ajaha, what we have seen is na janma vidyate, na jananam vidyate, na jayate. Like that it is explained. But interestingly, Acharya Shankara gives another very beautiful explanation. At Vishnoho ajayate iti kamaha ajaha. It's a very, very interesting outlook. In Shastras, certain akshara indicates certain deities. Here, the Shabda A represents Vishnu, and like Ka represents Brahma. Here A represents Vishnu, and Kamaha is born out of Vishnu. In fact, it is said Kama is nothing but Bhagavan's avatar only. How do you say so? What is Kama here? Kama means desire, we all know. Without desire, nothing is possible. No activity, no functioning can ever happen without desire. No success is ever possible in any field of activity without desire. Even though we see statements in Bhagavad Gita saying, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu, don't desire for fruits of action. But the desire for action is important to perform. And performance is very, very important. Why it is important? Because we cannot sit without in doing anything. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krita karyate. It has to work. Now the question is, if I have to function, and if I have to function efficiently, then there must be a desire to function. And the entire universe, what we see today, is the byproduct of Bhagavan's desire. It's a very interesting thought. One may say, how can Bhagavan have a desire? I can understand me having desire. And in my case, that is not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it is 1234 lakh crore desires we have. How can Bhagavan have a desire? The Upanishad very beautifully explains, So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti satapotapyata satapastaptva idagum sarvamasrujata yadidankincha satyatyacha bhavat niruktancha niruktancha nilayanancha nilayanancha vijnanancha vijnanancha satyamchandritancha satyam abhavat yadidankincha tat satyamitya chakshate ityadi. The Upanishad gives a beautiful explanation of how so kamayata, it started there. So kamayata meaning what? Bhagavan desired. It is a sport. You and I, when we can desire so many things in this world outside, starting from petty, small, insignificant things to all beings and so many properties and cars, so much we have desire, we have our own desire. And the best part, we say, why can't I desire? I have the right to desire. Isn't it? True. Each one of us, irrespective of what we are. Why? Even Pashu Pakshi Prani has got desire. Why can't human being have desire? Desiring is not an issue. Desiring is part of life. We go with it. And desiring by itself is not a problem, but desiring more than what is to be desired is a problem. Coming back, Bhagavan also can desire. Why can't he? After all, he is the Lord of everything. Is it not? He is the Lord of everything. Therefore he thought, let me sport. It's a sport for Bhagavan. He said, Saha Kamayata. He desired. Bahusyam Prajayeti. Very beautiful thought. Let me become this entire universe. Again in the same Upanishad it is said, Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishat. Having created everything, he himself entered everything. Meaning what? Cause pervades the effect. And cause pervades even in the desire for creation. Think. And what is this desire? It is represented by a personified deity called Manmatha. Normally, Kama, Manmatha are all very wrongly, addressed. Kama is simple desire. Manmatha is the one who is the god of desires. It's a simple meaning. So Kamayata, when it is said, Bhagavan desired to become plenty. To become this whole pluralistic universe, and having created, he himself entered. Tadeva anupravishat. He became them. As such, you will find there is nothing other than Bhagavan. But we are unable to see because of our own ignorance. One, we are unable to see because of our own wrong identification with this Sharira Mana Buddhi. Therefore, I am unable to identify my own true nature, let alone the world. Think. To see Bhagavan in every single thing is far away. Why? I am not yet understood who am I. That is why when you go to Ramana, when devotees go to Ramana and then complain, Swamiji, I have this problem. He said, keep the problem aside. Now think, who has got the problem? I have the problem. Who is this I? Direct Ramabana. He will straight away go to that source of the problem. Where is the problem? I is the problem. Think. The moment I identify with the Sharira Mana Buddhi, we also have so many desires. We have no end for desires. Our whole life is spent only in pleasure-oriented searching, pleasure-oriented chasing. Madhye, even in flashes, they just come as though some pleasure and run away. The rest of the time, I am looking for again. Therefore, very beautifully it is said, actually speaking, none of us are actually happy. We are either pretending to be happy or we are preparing to be happy. Think. And that happiness comes and goes away. Why? Because we are seeking impermanent happiness. Therefore, it cannot remain. But Bhagavan is Ananda Swarupaha. And being Ananda Swarupaha, he thought, let me create. And thus came this entire universe. And Manmatha, a representation of desires, is supposed to be none other than Bhagavan himself. Therefore, Bhagavan became desire Kamaha. Therefore, Vishnu in the form of Kama is also called Ajaha, Jaha means, ja means jayate. Ja means to be born of. Vishnu. Therefore, desires that is born out of Mahavishnu is nothing but Mahavishnu itself. Therefore, Ajaha also means desires. What a beautiful explanation, isn't it? Maharhaha. The next, another very, very beautiful, important, very, thought-provoking nama. Maharhaha means Maha Arhaha. Arha means, we use the word very often, Arhate, Arhata. Meaning what? Deserving. Maha Arhata, Acharya explains as Mahaha Puja Tadarhatvat Maharhaha. The one who deserves to be worshipped. Who deserves worship. Now this, earlier also once we have dealt with this particular thought. Praising is different. Flattering is different. Devotion is different. Respect is different. Reverence is different. All have got its own subtle meanings. Similarly, worship is a very high word. It's a very important word where I worship, I perform puja, I revere. Whom? Bhagavan Vishnu here. Now tell me, very many times we flatter people for our own benefits, our own fringe benefits. What is that? Utility-oriented praise. Very many times they don't have any relation to that praise. Nothing to do with what we are praising for. But then we praise. Why? Just to please them. Why should I please them? Because I need certain work to be done. What to talk of politicians now? Everybody wants to praise for getting some benefit only. Are they really worthy of praise? There are people indeed. There are very many people who deserve praise, but they are not behind that praise. That is the best part of it. They are not behind it. They are not behind flattering and things like that. They keep working for the sake of work. Tasyartham. Just for the, what is that? Tadartham karma. What is that tadartham? Yajnartham, says Bhagavad Gita. Where work is done for work's sake. They cannot be floored. They cannot be flattened by some praise. They cannot be made use of by such praises. Then there are places where you not only flatter or praise, but there they deserve that praise. Like for example, in a school or a college, a student gains 99% in his examination. He definitely deserves praise, is it not? Why do we praise him? Because most of us do not have that capacity. Not that we don't have capacity, we have not utilized our capacity. Every single person is capable. Every single individual is capable of getting what? 99%, 100% also. But we are unable to get that because we are distracted, we are diverted. Or because of our own desires and passions and desperations and blah blah blah. Think. That person, he has completely focused in his studies, he has gained the knowledge of that particular subject, and he has scored extremely well. The whole class, the whole school, and we find so many people who top the district, not only the school or college, district, and even at the national level, they score very high marks, very high rank. They are appreciated, they are praised. Think. And some institutions, they invite them and ask them to speak and inspire the other students. They are given mementos, they are given cash prizes. All these are done for what? Because that person has succeeded in that particular field of activity. We also have elderly people. We also have great Mahatmas who are invited. Why are they invited? Because they can inspire people to gain, that interest, that inspiration from these great successful people, and they can also follow accordingly. So a Mahatma is invited, or a successful person in the society in any particular field of activity, they are invited and they are requested to address, especially students in particular. We all had one of the best presidents in the entire history of India. We had one of the best presidents, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was an inspiration to every student. And he would be invited to colleges, to schools, and when he is invited, he is praised. Who deserves that praise? Think. And the students, having gained the knowledge about a speaker, they also gain knowledge from the speaker in such programs. And when the speaker speaks so profoundly and inspires the student goes back home and says, what an amazing program I had. Think. We genuinely praise. And when it comes to great Mahatmas, Rishis, they are worshipped. A guru is worshipped. Think. Why is a guru worshipped? Because andhakara nivartitvat. Because he removes the ignorance. Therefore, such a guru is worshipped. He deserves to be worshipped. And when at the human level, at the worldly level, so many people are being worshipped, what to talk of Bhagavan? Think, he is everything. He is a Lord of everything. He is a creator of everything. It is he who sustains us. It is because of him we are able to praise. Think. Therefore, Maha Puja Tadarhatvat. Puja here refers to what? Worshipping. Now, worshipping, as I said, is not just praise. Is not the patting behind. Is not creating big, forum or something like that. An institution, a big, huge ashrams, and then Mandaleshwars, everyone have got so many big ashrams and create so many, all these are all their part of it. But he is worthy of worship because of what? Through the form of a guru, it is Bhagavan himself who is giving us the knowledge of the Supreme. Therefore, Bhagavan is Puja Arhatvat. He deserves to be worshipped. And worship involves great amount of surrender, a great amount of uncontaminated, unsullied, unconditional love. Be it Guru or Bhagavan. Only when we have uncontaminated, unsullied, unconditional love can we ever become a bhakta at the feet of Bhagavan and worship with that purity of mind. Think. And Bhagavan deserves. Therefore, he is called Maharha. Swabhavyaha, another very beautiful nama. Swabhavena eva abhavyaha nitya nishpanna rupatvat iti swabhavaha. The one who is not and cannot be objectified is at its eternally experienced as one's own self. Bhagavan is what? Swabhava, Swarupa. He is our own true nature. And the one who gains the knowledge of that Swarupa will definitely be completely engrossed in that only, and such a person will only experience Ananda. And therefore it is said, Bhagavan cannot be objectified because the moment we objectify, he becomes different from me. When he is realized, when he is experienced as one's own self, then he becomes the very subject who can never be objectified. As of now, we have Bhagavan embodied externally and given a rupa to him. Why? Because we have not yet realized our own true nature, which is nothing different from, which is no different from Bhagavan. Once we realize that, then that inner being in me, that life principle in me, because of which I am functioning, without which I am no more available, I no more exist. That presence in me is Bhagavan, and therefore, since that presence is the very subject, is me, myself, Bhagavan cannot be objectified. Therefore, Swabhavyaha, it is our own Swabhava. Jita wonderful name. Jita Amitraha Antarvartinaha Ragadveshadayah Bahyascha Ravana Kumbhakarna Shishupalayadayah Yena Asau Jitamitraha. It looks long, but answer is very simple. What is that? The one who has conquered enemies within and outside. Coming to enemies within, Ragadveshadayah. What is Ragadveshadayah? You should add all the Shadvairis along with this. Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. All of them are what? My internal enemies. And represented as though by external Rakshasas like Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupala, ityadi. And then we have plenty of them. As many as desires what we have. As many as vices what we have. So many Rakshasas are there within us only. In fact, there are no Rakshasas outside. All are within. Everybody is in me. Think. Jita Amitraha. Amitraha meaning what? Enemies. Mitraha, friends. Amitraha, enemies. Antarvartinaha. The one who stays within. As what? As Ragadveshadaya. Bahyascha. Outside it has been explained. It has been represented by Ravana Kumbhakarma Shishupalayadaya Yena Asaujita Mitraha. Since he has won over all of them, he is called as Jita Mitraha. All of us are all capable to become one Jita Mitraha. Why are we praising all these gunas? The one who has won over, one who has conquered, one who has control, one who has mastery. So many words are being used. Shabdajalam, Maharanyam, Chitta, Brahmana Karanam. So many words are available. What does that actually mean? Jitamitra means I have complete mastery of myself. Sharirika, Manasika, Bauddhika, mastery. Mastery meaning what? They obey me, I will not obey them. I don't have to obey them. But what is our condition? Our condition is we only obey them. Therefore, since we are unable to master them, we are unable to control them, these abilities becomes great. Anything that I cannot do, I respect. Anything that I am not able to do, I respect those who are able to do. Just now we discussed, here is a student who has secured 99%. Why do I praise him? Why do I pat him? Because I am unable to do. I have failed in getting 99%. Let us suppose even I get 90%, still 99% student is always respected. Why? Because of that capacity, because of that focus in studies, because of that ability, that talent, that efficiency. We praise all of that because I have not yet lifted myself to that level. Think, Amitraha here, enemies, are won over. Therefore, Jita Mitraha. Have we won over our enemies? What is the indication here? Every nama is only to indicate what is it that I am capable of. And it gives us an opportunity. It's a beautiful way of thinking. It is a very positive way of thinking. Normally what happens, we think very negatively. We fall into what is called as self-pity. Oh, I am unable to get over my desires. I am unable to give up this. So many people say, oh, I just can't give up smoking. I just can't give up. Nothing like that. Everybody is capable of growing out. Please note, getting out is different. Growing out is different. Growing out is what? Mastery. Growing out is what? Jitamitraha, the one who understands the weaknesses that are there, who not only understands, he puts in effort to get out of those weaknesses, accepts the limitations. Accepting the limitation, understanding the weaknesses, assimilating the knowledge given by the Shastras, in getting inspired by such wonderful nama, one moves forward and grows out of it. For that sake, these namas becomes very inspiring. Bhagavan is a Jita Mitra. Why? He has no such weaknesses. How many of us in our own homes, let alone anybody in the world outside, in our own homes, if there are 5-6 people, there is definitely one person who is very dharmic, who is very clear, who is very wonderful, who does not fall prey for petty, paltry, cheap desires, etc. Everyone in the family respects that person. And in fact, that person becomes a role model, an icon. We have icons in the society. Again, if I can take the example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. We all have seen in the news media what exactly Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam possessed while he was the president and while he actually died. What was his possessions? Hardly anything. Hardly anything. Few suits, even in single digit. Very few clothes, very few, all whatever he earned, he gave it away. Today we have politicians who grab crores and crores and crores of rupees, eating it away, cannot give to other people who are needed. Why? I want more. Greedy. This wrong vices are wrong only. These vices actually have created so much of chaos in the society. But here is a person who has won over that. At that level, being the president, the first person in the nation, what he had is very small. Therefore, he is praiseworthy. Therefore, we see that he has won over all those small desires. They become a role model. And Jita Mitraha is to indicate that we also can become. We are not such this one, but it can give us inspiration and we can grow out of it. Therefore, Bhagavan is here termed as Jita Mitraha, as a beautiful role model. Pramodanaha. This is another very beautiful word which we have used several times. Priya, Moda, Pramoda, we say. 3 levels. What is Pramoda? Swa, Atma, Amrita, Rasa, Aswadat. Swa, Atma, Amrita rasa aswadat nityam pramodaha. The one who enjoys. What is enjoying? Atma amrita rasa aswadat. Aswadat, the one who enjoys. Who gets delighted. In what? In one's own swa atma. Swa atma, one's own atma. Amrita rasa, the essence of the immortality in one's own atma. What does this mean? It means again the same thing. He is non-dependent on anything for enjoying, rejoicing, reveling in Swa Atma Amrita Rasa. Therefore, he is called Pramodaha. Dhyayinam dhyanamatreena pramodam karoti. It is not only he is enjoying, but he also distributes pramoda. He distributes joy. For whom? Dhyayinam. To those who meditate upon him. Dhyanamatreena. The one who meditates, who remembers Bhagavan, by the very remembrance of Bhagavan, by the very meditation on Bhagavan, one gets delighted. One becomes so happy. We have experiences, we have, notes of so many people who have drowned themselves in devotion with Bhagavan. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was, profusely shedding tears in front of Kali Mata out of devotion towards her. And how many dasas we have in our South India also, who have sung so much of glorious bhajans and things like that on Bhagavan. What an example we have Mirabai. Think, such great devotional people bring joy not by doing anything, by the very remembrance of Bhagavan. Dhyayinam dhyanamatreena pramodam karoti. When I think of Bhagavan, in the thought itself, Bhagavan blesses so much of joy. This inexplicable, unconditional joy is called pramoda. Priyam is one thing, desire. Moda is when I enjoy it. Pramoda is when I get the delight out of it. Simple example. Let us suppose I love to eat rasgulla. I love rasgulla. I keep telling also people. What? I just love rasgulla. By thought itself, rasgulla gives me so much of joy. Let us suppose somebody brings one tin of K.C. Das rasgulla. Swamiji, take this. Oh! Look at the difference. The shift in the joy of thinking about rasgulla to the joy of eating rasgulla. Definitely it is multifold, isn't it? Thought about rasgulla gives joy. Enjoying rasgulla gives more joy, isn't it? And having eaten rasgulla, the taste of rasgulla when I actually experience pramoda. If one single object can give me so much of joy, what to talk of Bhagavan? Therefore, pramodaha dhyayinam dhyanamatreena. By the very remembrance, pramodam karoti. He gives joy. Therefore, he is called pramodaha. Anandaha. How many times we have discussed this? Ananda swarupam asya iti. Ananda Swarupa, meaning what? His Swarupa, his very nature is Ananda. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. And otherwise it is called Satchit Ananda. Swarupatvat. His very nature is Ananda Swarupa. And therefore he is called Anandaha. Then comes Nandaha. First one is Anandaha, where he is the very nature of happiness, the very nature of joy, the very nature of bliss, bliss itself. Here Nandaha, Nandayati iti Nandaha, the one who delights others. He, being happy is one thing, bringing happiness to another is other thing. In our worldly life, all of us depend upon so many things and beings for our happiness. And all of them, you cannot find even one of them. All of them are temporary. Therefore, the joy born out of them is also temporary. Think. How can that which is temporary give me permanent ananda? There is a logical, problem. That which is permanent alone can give me permanent ananda. That which is impermanent cannot give me permanent ananda. Therefore, what is it that which is permanent? Just now we saw Ananda Swarupaha. And only he can delight all of us. Tulsi Ramayana it starts, Shantam Shashvatam Aprameyam Anagham Nirvana Shanti Pradam. Shantam, Shashvatam Shantam, Shanti Pradam. He is permanently happy and therefore he can give happiness, Shanti Pradam. You and I we may be happier occasionally. We may probably distribute some happiness here and there. What impermanent happiness I enjoy, same impermanent happiness I may share. Just now I saw, I just mentioned, Rasagolla I can eat, I can feel happy. I can distribute Rasagolla, I can make them feel happy. Both mine as well as theirs. Both are impermanent. Think. After some time, if I take something else, Rasagolla is forgotten. Think. Whereas here, Shanti Pradam, when it is said, the peace depending on nothing. Peace which is not because of, but peace in spite of everything. That Bhagavan can give. Therefore he says, Nandayati, he delights. He brings joy. Think of Sri Krishna's Leela. Every Leela is such a joyful experience. Think. Therefore, Nandanaha. Anandaha is another way of thinking. If you break the sandhi there, another word can be Anandaha. What is that Anandaha? Sarvabhihi Upapattibihi Samriddha iti Nandaha. Upapattihi, the one who is rich with all the means of happiness. Therefore, he is called Anandaha, one meaning. Another meaning is the one who does not delight in temporary things. If you take Anandaha, the one who does not delight in temporary things. Sukham Vaishayikam na asya vidyate. Vaishayika meaning what? Sukham from Vishaya. Na asya vidyate iti Anandaha. The one who does not delight. The one who does not derive Sukha from Vishayas. Because he himself is Ananda Swarupa. Why will I take delight in the things? Think. Therefore, he is also called Anandaha. Satya Dharmaha. One to whom Satyam itself is the Dharma. Satyaha Dharma Jnanadayaha Asya iti Satya Dharmaha. What is Dharma? One who is rich in 6 forms of Dharma. This we have dealt earlier. Jnana, knowledge. Vairagya, dispassion. Virya, capacity to create, sustain and resolve. Yashas, fame. Shrihi, wealth. And Aishwarya, overlordship. The one Dharma Jnanadayaha. Jnanadayaha refers to all these 6 wealth, 6 forms of Dharma. Asya iti Satya Dharma. The one who is endowed with, or rather, he himself is everything. But every time we go on saying he himself, sometimes we get bored. So some new names, new words are used. He is endowed with all these 6 gunas and therefore he is called Satya Dharma. Another meaning is one who has Satyam, Jnanam and Anantam as his very dharma, as his very nature. Therefore, he is called Satya Dharma. Trivikramaha, the last name in this shloka. Trivikramaha, we all know. Trayoho Vikramaha Trishu Lokeshu Krantaha. Yasya Saha Trivikramaha, the one who measured the entire creation with his 3 foots. Vamana Avatara is indicated here, and therefore he is called as Trivikramaha, the one whose 3 steps spanned all the 3 worlds, meaning he conquered everything. In fact, he is everything in the manner of saying he measured all the 3 worlds. He took all the 3 worlds into his custody. Therefore, he is called Trivikramaha. With this, we conclude the 56th shloka. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.